Arguably the best player in Major League Baseball today, an angel sent from heaven, literally, to potentially save the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim's future. Shohei Ohtani is a pitcher, an outfielder, a jack of all trades, some may say. 34 home runs, 74 RBI, a 274 batting average, and he just happens to have a winning record as a pitcher. This dude can literally do it all. He might actually be the best all-around player in baseball. He definitely is right now. Andrew, tell us about Shohei Ohtani. Tell what makes him so great and so dynamic, and what could this mean for not only his future, but the future of the Angels?
I have mixed feelings about this one because I really do love Shohei. How can you not? Like, the dude hits fucking 450-foot home runs. He throws 97. He's kind of intimidating. You ever seen that dude with, like, when he's sleeveless, dude? That dude's fucking yoked. Like, he don't even look at dude. He's fucking yoked. It just is a shame because I just feel like the Angel organization, as much talent as they have, they just are not meant to win anything, dude. Like, what they're like 10 and a half games back in that division. They're not catching Houston. Like, they're not catching Houston. They're not going to catch Oakland. They're not going to catch any of those teams out there, dude. So the problem is as much as I love Shohei, we might never get a chance to actually see Shohei play in the playoffs unless he leaves the Angels because his team around him isn't, they're not good. And it's not a knock on him. He does everything he can, but I think it gets to a point sometimes where think about they've wasted Mike Trout, dude. Come on. Mike Trout, one of the best baseball players of this generation, dude. You got two of the best baseball players of this generation on one team, and they're not going to sniff the playoffs. So that's the only thing I have is I love Shohei. Dude's probably going to hit 45, maybe even get to 50 home runs this year. I'm going to maybe cap it at like 45 or something like that, easily over 100 RBIs. But it's just a shame if we get a talent like this, like those dudes they always got in Colorado, dude, like the Nolan Arenados, the Trevor Stories, guys like that, where, they're hitting fucking 45, 50 home runs a year, but it doesn't matter because the team sucks and they're finishing 20 games behind the first place team in the division. So
I just want to take it a different route maybe because the Angels are obviously, I don't know what's going on. They're cursed. They got Mike Trout. They have arguably Mike Trout the greatest player.
They had the Uptons. They had
that whole organization. I don't know what's going on there. But as far as Shohei Ohtani and how historic this is, people I think it's important to put it into perspective how historic this is to see someone who plays multiple positions that he does doing all of this. I think it's very important to kind of put that into perspective. Andrew, in your opinion, how historic is it to just see someone dominate almost all facets of the game like Shohei Ohtani does?
So I think it shows, too, that baseball as a whole is changing. Because when you think about it, a lot of these players, like when they come up, once they hit a certain age, they're kind of taught, like, you got to specialize. So pitchers are taught specialize, don't worry about hitting. Fielders are taught, don't even worry about, just get in the cage, take your swings, take a hit off the tee, do all work on your fielding, glove work, footwork, all that other stuff. And it's showing, I guess, a guy like Shohei Ohtani, and the fact that he's been so durable too, which is huge. It's showing that, there is a future potentially for two-way players, guys that can go out there and pitch for you, and then a guy that you can put in the lineup every other day, and he can hit. It's just showing how, we talk about how sports evolve and everything like that. And this just goes to show, like I said, or not like I've said, but like people have said, we're all in agreement with this, that we haven't seen anything like this since Babe Ruth. And even then, there's a reason why Babe Ruth is fucking one of he's arguably the best player to ever play. It's because he did stuff like this and he did stuff like this. And then we've never seen guys do anything like this. So it just goes to show how baseball is evolving. And, this is kind of like the next evolution of baseball where we're going to have professional athletes being legitimate two-way players that are going to hit 40 home runs a year. They're going to throw, I don't know if he's on track to throw 300 innings this year, but they're going to throw 200 to 300 innings in the season and be dominant both ways.
Look at DeGrom. Like DeGrom, even we were talking about him earlier, I think in the season as someone who was, we were talking about what he was doing, and he Like, to be fair, he was not doing anything to the extent of
Not
what
at the
Shohei
plate. He
Ohtani is.
wasn't doing anything
Not
at
at
the
the
plate.
plate. That's what I'm talking about. He was not doing anything to the extent of Shohei Ohtani at the plate. But even what he was doing was so
Oh, the pitching,
remarkable
dude.
for a pitch. No, not only for a pitcher, but what he was doing at the plate too. We were talking about like he might have been for a while there, like where you guys had a lot of people in the DL and whatever. He was the best hitter you
That
guys had for a
That
while.
dude had more as a pitcher, right? This is on that dude had more RBIs than runs given up on the season.
And
That's
and what he
video
did,
game stuff.
and we were talking about that, like he was like literally like the baseball Jesus. But then Shohei Ohtani comes in and he just like puts all of that even to shame. Like, and you know what it is? There are people like Stephen A. Smith who might say that, oh well, this he said that he shouldn't be the face of American baseball. That's cap, stupid, whatever, right? This is so good for the sport. This is like I have never like just 1 second. Yeah, I've never seen so many non-baseball fans watch a home run derby. Like the ratings for through the roof for the home run derby and the All-Star game because of people like Shohei Ohtani, because of all these people from different places. Like baseball has become more of an international sport. MLB has become an
Alonso.
Exactly. The MLB has become such an international game now. Like we're seeing the developments of it, and it's so great for the sport of baseball because it gets people's attention. It's funner to watch when you see pitchers doing this. It's like what baseball was like in the 1920s. It was like or back in the day when Babe Ruth was doing that. When you had people being pitchers and hitters and dominating all facets of the game. Like we're just getting like a little bit of a taste of that. Imagine what happens, like 10 years from now when maybe this becomes much more frequent. Maybe every other team has a Shohei Ohtani or that type of player, and that's how we begin to develop players to be kind of two-way players. That is going to be, I think, much better for the sport. That is going to be much better for the entire like baseball fans because there's going to be more of them. And we talked about baseball for a long time, man. Like it wasn't like I don't want to say it was a dying sport, but dude, it was not pretty for a while there. After the steroid scandal happened, and especially coming off of the trash can scandal, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. Like as far as some of the things you were seeing, I still think baseball has a ways to go as far as some of the dumb rules they've implemented, like the whole like. Someone starts on second base at the 10th inning, and
they got to get rid of that shit. I hate that shit.
It's so dumb. It's like that kind of stuff. That's more rules oriented. But as far as developing players, I like the direction this is going, and I hope this continues.
Just a quick comment about what you said. Part of the reason why I didn't agree with what that man said on television the other day, partially because baseball.
That man being Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, I refuse to say his name. Part of the reason why I disagreed was because baseball is a universal. As much as it's dubbed America's pastime or something like that, dude. It's a universal sport. Like they're playing baseball at every country, dude. They're playing baseball in Japan. They're playing baseball in the Caribbean. They're like it's not just in this country. So even though the teams and the big name teams are all from this country and everything like that, dude, if you watch a thing called the World Baseball Classic, the USA is not sending teams there every single year and finishing like winning the gold or something like that. Like we won the most recent one, dude. But before that, I don't think the US had even placed in any single World Baseball Classic before winning the most previous one, dude. It was Japan, the DR, PR, Mexico. All those teams were fucking shitting on us. And they're always going to, and when they're producing guys like Shohei Ohtani, when like those guys are coming out of countries like that, and the big name guys now are coming out of countries like that, baseball is a universal sport. So anyone, doesn't matter where he's from, anybody can be the face of baseball. And I think this guy can be the face of baseball, dude.
Absolutely. It's you've gone even beyond that, man. I mean, who is that? Who was that? What was his name? Was it is Liam Hendricks like he's like coming up as far as the Australian leagues go, like we're seeing like baseball has become like an international sport, and I always hated that thing, like what Stephen A said, like, oh, it's not good for the sport to have like a Japanese guy with a translator be representing the sport. I'm like, dude, what? Like
the
that
majority of guys that play this sport are from the Caribbean islands. So,
Yeah.
and most of them have translators too. The ones that don't speak English, they try to. So that was a
And
horrible.
as if like it's as if like you need a personality to be like the face of baseball. Like
Listen,
no,
I don't give a fuck what this guy has to say. You know what I give a fuck about? I give a fuck how fast he lights up that radar gun and how fucking far that home run goes.
amen,
That's all I care about.
amen. And boy, the Shohei Ohtani lighted up. Like I said, like overall, I think the story of this year, no matter who wins the World Series and all that stuff, and all love to your boy DeGrom, who is amazing. Shohei Ohtani will be the story of this season, and he deservedly so. This dude is amazing, and I hope he keeps it up for the rest of his career. This dude's amazing. Like he's only 27. He's still like probably in his prime, just entering his prime. So thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.